me adjust my camera a tiny bit. Welcome to today's yoga class. Take a seat with me in Sukhasana, easy seat. If you choose to sit on a folded blanket today or a block, go ahead and do that. And then once you're comfortable, close your eyes, relax the shoulders, rest your hands lightly on the knees with the palms turned down. And we'll rest one hand or place one hand on the chest now. And bring the other to the belly. Become aware of your breath without consciously altering the breath. Feel the chest rise and fall with each inhalation and exhalation. Feel the belly inflate and deflate beneath the hand. Inflating on the inhalation and deflating with the exhalation. Release the hands to the knees. Your palms are turned down. Inhale. As you exhale out through the nostrils, open your eyes, hinging forward from the hips. Walk your hands out. Let your head hang or rest the forehead on the ground. With the inhalation, lift the head and chest. Walk your hands in and sit tall with me. Raise your right arm overhead, stretch through the fingertips of the right hand, and then rotate your chest upward, looking up to the right. Trying to keep our right sit bone pressed into the ground. Inhale, center, exhale. Let's twist to the right, left hand outside of the right knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist from the waist. Each inhalation, keep lengthening through the spine, and each exhalation, twisting from the navel line. Push off the back hand. You're back to center. Left arm reaches overhead. So lateral flexion here. Your chest is turned upward, reaching out through the fingertips of the left hand and guiding the left sit bone in the direction of the floor. Inhale to your center. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right hand outside of the left knee. Each inhalation, continue to lengthen the spine. Each exhalation, twist from the waist. And pushing away with the back hand, let's come back to our center. You can bring the opposite leg in front. Close your eyes and place the fingertips on the floor behind you. Your fingers are turned away from the hips. Roll the shoulders back, open the chest wide, and press the palms to the ground. If that's not comfortable, stay on your fingertips. Use your Ujjayi breath, victorious breath, breathing deeply in through the nose with even longer exhalations back out through the nostrils. The Ujjayi breath, create the ha sound in the back of the throat as if you're fogging up a window on a cold day. And that's going to control the intake and outtake of breath and also create that natural hissing or humming sound. Next exhalation, we'll open our eyes and inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down in front of heart center. Release your arms out to the sides. Slide your right hand out and reach over with the left arm. Turn your chest upward. So this is another lateral flexion. You want to keep your left sit bone on the ground. It's okay if it's up a little, sometimes it is, but just work on gently guiding it to the floor. And then just to mention this right elbow, you can have the right arm straight, you can bend the right elbow, or if you're feeling really stretchy today, you can place your right elbow on the floor. Otherwise, stick where you are and come back to center. Left hand slides out, right arm reaches overhead. This time it's the right sit bone that might be lifting up a bit. So try and prime or ground both sit bones evenly into the floor. Gaze is upward. Your choice if the left elbow is on the ground, left arm is straight, or left elbow just bent. Pushing away with the bottom left hand, return to center. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. Use your breath here. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, lowers the hands down. Still using the Ujjayi breath. Listen for that pleasant ocean sound or the hissing or humming sound associated or accompanying this breath. Let's go around one more time. When your exhalation is finished and your hands are in front of heart center, and please take time to complete it, there's no rush. But when that exhalation is finished, release the hands to the knees, palms turned down. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, opening the eyes if they're closed. Hinge forward from the hips. Walk your hands out and let your head hang. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Walk the hands in and sit tall. Let's come to all fours. Knees are hip width apart, wrists under shoulders. Reach back through the right leg and push into the ball with your right foot. With the inhalation, bring the right heel in line with the hip and extend the left arm out in front. Your choice to stay here, or you can bend the right knee and hold on to the right ankle with the left hand. Continue with the Ujjayi breath. Return both hand and knee to the ground. Reach back to the left leg and push into the ball of the foot. Inhale as you bring the heel in line with the hip. Reach forward with the right arm. And you can stay here in this spinal balance, or you can bend the back left knee and hold on to the ankle with your right hand. Focusing on the breath. Controlling your breath. Long inhalations, longer exhalations. And exhale, hand, knee to the floor. Coming into Balasana, child's pose, drop the sit bones to the heels. Arms out in front, forehead on the ground. Or modifying the posture, resting the forehead on a block. If you don't have a block and you want to modify the pose today, stack one fist on top of the other and rest your forehead on the fist. As you inhale, lift the head and chest, come up to all fours, separate the knees hip width apart, and we'll move to some cat-cows next. Inhale, lift the chest, flipping upward, point the tailbone to the ceiling, press the belly button to the ground. As you exhale, curl the tailbone under, bring the navel to the spine, round down, chin to chest. And just continue at your own pace. Let the breath initiate and end the movement. It's the breath that's controlling the motion. This will be your final cat-cow. Finish your exhalation. Then bring your spine to neutral. And when you're ready, join me in Balasana. Child's pose, sit bones on the heels, arms out in front, or any modification that you choose. As you inhale, you're going to lift your head and chest. Press forward to all fours. Separate your knees hip width apart. It's time to go to a downward facing dog. Curl the toes under and lift the hips. Bring the weight to the heels. Separate the feet hip width apart. Keep the sides of your feet parallel with the wide edges of the mat. Bending the knees, look in between the thumbs. Walk or step the feet until they're in between your hands. Bend your knees. Inhale, arms up. Bring the hands together. Lift the chest and exhale, reach up. This is your upward salute, Urdhva Hastasana. Chin turn to the ceiling. Drift your gaze to the thumbs. Inhale to your center. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Point the top of the head to the floor. Inhale, lengthening the spine, looking outward. Exhale, fold in half. With your knees bent and the palms on the mat, step into a plank. Pull your navel in and up, gazing outward. Point the elbows to the hips. Exhale to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale as you bend the elbows, push off the ground, curling the toes under to lift the hips, coming to downward facing dog. Using your Ujjayi breath, bend the knees, look forward in between the thumbs, and walk or step your feet in between your hands. As you bend both knees, inhale, arms come up, palms together, lift the chest, and exhale for Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale to your center, exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, looking out in front. Exhale, fold in half. With the knees bent, palms on the mat, step back to your plank. From the plank position, we're going to exhale to Chaturanga. Squeeze the upper arms to the sides of the torso. Inhale, pull the chest through the arms, looking upward. Your legs are active here. And then we'll bend our elbows, push off the floor, curling the toes under, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Deep inhalations through the nose, longer exhalations out through the nostrils. Moving to runner's lunge, bend the knees, step or place the right hand in between the thumbs, Get your balance here. You can either rest the hands lightly on the front thigh or inhale the arms up, palms together. Choice is to look straight ahead or turn the chin up to the ceiling and gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. We're going to step to a plank and lift our hips for a downward facing dog. Press the chest towards your knees. And then we're going to go back to runner's lunge, bending the knees. Place the left foot in between the hands. Keep the ankle beneath the left knee. Don't let the left knee jet beyond it. Press into the ball of the back right foot, right leg straight. Chest lifted. Continue with the Ujjayi breath. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips, palm the mat. And we're going to step back to a downward facing dog. Sides of the feet parallel to the wide edges of the mat. As you bend the knees, look in between the thumbs. Walk or step your feet forward. Bending both knees. Inhale, arms overhead, palms together, lift the chest. Exhale for an upward salute. Gaze to the thumbs. Inhale, center. Final Surya Namaskar or sun salutation as you exhale to Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine, looking out in front. Exhale, fold in half. Bending the knees with the palms on the ground. Step back to your plank. Your gaze is out in front. Pull your navel in and up. Elbows turn to the hips. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Remember, we're keeping our legs engaged here, not just letting them hang. And exhale, bend the elbows, pushing away from the floor, curling the toes under, lifting the hips. Downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look in between the thumbs, walk or step your feet forward. Bend both knees, inhale, arms up, palms together, lift the chest, and exhale for an upward salute. Inhale, center, exhale, hands in front of heart center, release the arms, turn the palms outward, relax the shoulders. This is the mountain pose or Tadasana. You can bring your feet close together if they're not already. Sides of the big toes touching. Inhale, arms up, palms together. Lift the chest. Exhale, back to Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands in front of heart center as you bend the knees and drop the seat. So feet as close together as possible. Knees touch, sides of the knees touching each other, squeezing inner thighs together. Pull your navel in and up. Slight tuck to the tailbone. Exhale, drop the seat. Going into a warrior two with the right foot in front. Step back onto the left. You can widen the base. Reach your arms out. So bring your shoulders back, letting the shoulders be directly over the hips. And this right thigh, pull it out to the side, getting the right knee in line with the second toe of the right foot. If you don't feel challenged in the posture, drop the hips, but make sure you can see the right big toe, if not inch it forward a bit. Continue with your Ujjayi breath. Release the arms, straighten the front leg. You can put a bend in the front knee as you step into your standing forward bend. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms come up, palms come together, lift the chest, and you can exhale to your upward salute. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands in front of heart center, bending the knee and dropping the seat. Returning to Utkatasana, chair pose. Pull your navel in and up. You have a slight tuck to the tailbone. Exhale as you drop the seat. Keeping the left foot in front, step back onto the right. Widen your base if you choose. Arms extended out to the sides, hands in line with the shoulders. You can always look back, make sure they're at the same height. Pulling the left thigh out to the left side. Trying to get the left knee in line with the second toe of the left foot. It's going to open your hips. That's the reason we're doing that. Remember, you're welcome to drop the hips until the left thigh is parallel with the floor. You can see mine's not there today, but if you want to go deeper, please feel free to do that. Just make sure you can see your left big toe. Release the arms, let's straighten through the front leg. You can turn the hips forward. We're going to do that big step into Uttanasana. As you bend the knees, inhale, arms up, palms together, chest lifted, and exhale for Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, center. Exhale to your chair, Utkatasana. Pulling the navel in and up, slight tuck to the tailbone. Continue with the Ujjayi breath as you squeeze your inner thighs together. Exhale, drop the seat. Triangle pose or Trikonasana is next. Right foot in front, step back to the left and straighten through the right leg. Reach the arms out, press your left hip back, and then the right side of your body will track in line with the right knee. Left hand over the left shoulder. Option to bind the raised arm behind the back. If you choose to do that, your left hand is reaching for the right inner thigh. Continuing with the Ujjayi breath, look upward to the ceiling. If it does throw you off balance looking upward, you can always look to the side or down at the right big toe. Release the arm from here. We're going to take it to a warrior one. Look down at the right big toe, bend the front knee. You're going to turn your back left foot in slightly and inhale the arms overhead. Drop the hips. If you don't see your right big toe, inch it forward. Pull the right hip back. Let the left hip automatically turn towards the right knee as you guide the right hip back. Exhale, hands in front of heart center, straightening the front leg. We're going to step forward into standing forward bend. Bending the knees. Inhale, arms up and bring the hands together. Lift the chest. Exhale, upward salute. Inhale, center, and exhale back to Utkatasana, chair. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Sides of your knees touching, sides of the big toe. And be sure to pull the navel in and up, slight tuck to the tailbone. Exhale as you drop the seat. With triangle pose or Trikonasana on the left side, keep the left foot in front and step back onto the right. Reach the arms out. Chest is open. Back of the your torso, you want to imagine pressed into a wall evenly, so your shoulder blades and hips are pressed evenly into the wall as you push the right hip back. Let the left side of the body travel in line with the left knee. So still thinking about an imaginary wall behind your back, pressing the shoulder blades and hips evenly into the floor. Your choice to keep the right arm in the air or find the right arm behind the back with your left hand reaching, your right hand reaching for the left inner thigh. Continue to ground through the back right heel. From here, we're going to go to a warrior one, Virabhadrasana one, release the arm, looking down at the front left toe. You can now lift the chest. And we're going to keep grounding through the right heel, but I don't know if you noticed that I slightly turned my right foot in so I can square my hips off to the short edge of the mat. This left hip, you're continuing to guide back so the right hip turns forward. If this causes discomfort in the back right knee, just turn the foot in a bit more. Exhale, hands in front of heart center, and we'll step back to Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Bend the knees, inhale, arms come up, lift the chest, and exhale for upward salute. Inhale, center, exhale, hands in front of heart center. Release the arms, turn the palms out, and relax the shoulders. Staying where you are for the moment, we're going to inhale our arms up, interlace the fingers so pinky fingers are up just so you can see it. I think my hands are cut off by the screen. So arms long, fingers interlaced with the pointy or the index fingers up. Exhale, tilt to the right. Turn the head as you look towards your left. Think about your body pressed in between two panes of glass. Guide the left foot further into the ground. I'm mirroring you at this point. Inhale, center, and exhale, tilting to the left. Heads turn, looking upward to the right. You can use your bottom hand to pull on the top hand and sink your right foot further into the ground. That's just going to help with a stretch on the lower half side of your torso. And inhale, center. Exhale, hands in front of heart center. Place the hands on the hips. You can stay where you are. We're going to hinge forward from the hips, coming into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Coming into Ardha Uttanasana, half standing forward bend. And then bend the hips, point the top of the head to the ground again. With the knees bent and the palms on the floor, step to plank. Lower both knees and tops of the feet to the ground. Drop the sit bones to the heels and rest in your child's pose. Inhale, lift the head and chest. Continue with your Ujjayi breath. We're still using the Ujjayi breath. We're now in what's called Hero's Pose of Virasana. I'm going to offer a few modifications. If you have a block, place it in between the legs and sit on it. If you find it uncomfortable to be with the sit bones all the way like this, I don't want to cause discomfort in your knees. Another thing you can do is you can place a block, or excuse me, not a block, a folded blanket in between the legs too, if you're feeling a lot of discomfort in the knees. And if you're feeling too much discomfort, just come out of the posture. Otherwise, long spine, shoulders relaxed. Continuing with the Ujjayi breath. We'll come to all fours, dropping one hip onto the ground. You can face me here, and we're gonna come onto the side of the body. You might have done this with me the other day. This is our sleeping Buddha pose. You can place your right hand under your ear. And then if you have a strap, you can use it for this next posture. What we're trying to do before we get all the way into it is we're trying not to roll forward or roll all the way back, trying to find that happy medium, balancing on your right hip. So bring the right knee in, use a strap around the ball of the foot, or use your index and middle finger, slide it in between the big and second toe, and walk with the thumb, and extend your left leg up into the air. Whether you're holding onto the big toe with your fingers or using a strap on the ball of the left foot, you want to continue to guide the leg closer towards your head. Still using the Ujjayi breath. Release the toe, bend the knee, and come back here. I'm just going to swing around to face you. Okay, so we can do our other side. So this time we're lying on our left side. Use the strap if you want. Remember, we're trying to balance on the side of our left hip, okay? And then bend. And just one other thing to note, it might be happening, but instead of, notice how I brought my legs forward, we're trying not to do that. We're trying to keep our body in one plane of existence. And that's why it's a little bit challenging to rest on the left hip and without rolling forward or back. All right, so then bring the right knee in and take the first two fingers and walk with the thumb and extend your right leg up to the ceiling. And I'm sorry, I think I've said that without mirroring you here, but I think you get the point. So continuing to guide the leg closer towards the ear. Release the foot. And depending on where you are, you can just roll onto your stomach, or you can swing around like I'm doing. And come onto the belly, turn the head to one side. And turn the head to the other side. Coming onto the chin, place the hands under the shoulders, slide the fingers forward. Elbows are now under the shoulders. This is called Sphinx pose. You see both palms on the floor. This is called Sphinx pose or Ardha Bhujangasana. Also translated as half cobra pose. For this particular posture, it may cause pain in the lower back. That's not what you want to happen. So if you are feeling pain, separate your legs, forming a letter B. Place one hand on top of the other to rest your forehead on. And just stay here. Otherwise, you can keep it here in Sphinx pose or Ardha Bhujangasana. If you would like to move further into the posture and if it doesn't cause discomfort, press your palms into the ground, lengthen the arms, chest is open, gaze is upward. Continue with the Ujjayi breath. Exhale. exhale, elbows to the floor. We'll go into the crocodile pose, Makrasana. Turn the elbows out to the side. Place one hand on top of the other. Separate your legs, forming a letter V. Feet turned out with the ankles resting on the floor. Forehead resting on the hands. As you inhale, lift your head and chest, bring your legs together and arms alongside the torso. Turn your cheek to one side. Turn your cheek to the opposite side. Come to the chin. Interlace the fingers, pull the hands down so the arms are long. Inhale, lift the chin and chest, roll the shoulders back. Continue to use your Ujjayi breath. This posture is snake pose or Sarkasana. Your choice if you'd like to keep gazing straight ahead or turn your head looking towards the right shoulder. Listen for the sound of your Ujjayi breath. Bring your head back to center. And option now, turning the head, gazing at the left shoulder. Each inhalation, you can come up a little higher. And we'll bring our head to center. We're going to lower our chin to the floor, arms on the ground. And one last time, turn the cheek to one side. And turn the cheek to the opposite side. Bring your chin to the floor, hands under the shoulders, push up to all fours, and then drop the sit bones to the heels, coming into child's pose, Balasana. Inhale, lifting the head and chest, press upward to all fours, dropping one hip to the floor, swing your feet around to the shortest edge of the mat so you're coming into Dandasana. This is your staff pose. Feet flexed, shoulders over the hips. Inhale, arms up, reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Option to modify this posture by holding onto the shins, ankles, or you can hold on to the balls of the feet. If you have a strap and you'd like to modify the posture, place it around the balls of the feet and hold on to it with each hand. For Paschimottanasana or seated forward bend, you can slowly relax into the posture. Sorry about that. So each inhalation, as you lengthen the spine, you're creating space between each of your vertebrae. And keeping that same length in your spine, exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Listen for the sound of your Ujjayi breath. Inhale as you come to center. Good. All right, so let's scoot our heels forward to the short edge of the mat if they're not already there. Bring your fingertips towards the knees. Look down at your belly button. Roll first to the elbows, then the shoulder blades, and finally let the back of the head rest on the floor. Walk your heels to your sit bones with both feet flat on the floor. Lower the small of the back to the ground. Anandasana, joyful baby pose is our next posture. Pull the knees into the chest, taking the arms in between the legs. You're going to use your index and middle finger and slide them in between the second and big toe. Lock with the thumbs. Turn the bottoms of the feet up to the ceiling. Use your exhalation to guide the legs closer towards the ground until you get the knees to the floor. If you're uncomfortable holding on to the big toes, hold on to the ankles. Continue with the Ujjayi breath, each exhalation guiding the knees towards the floor. Slow inhalations, longer exhalations. Release the feet, bring your knees together and return the feet to the ground. Slide one leg out, then the other. Roll your legs in and out from the hips, let them rest. We're gonna go into bridge pose or Setu Bandha Sarvangasana next. Walk the heels to the sit bones, with the sides of the feet parallel to the wide edges of the mat. Lower the small of the back. As you press through the heels, inhale the hips up off the floor. Knees are in line with the hips, so make sure all your toes are facing forward, sides of the feet parallel to the wide edges of the mat. They might even feel pigeon-toed when you're doing this, but I highly doubt they are. Your knees keep in line with the hips, don't let them drop out to the side or cave in. And each inhalation, continue to lift the hips. If you'd like to move further into the posture, option to roll one shoulder under the back, then the other, coming up high onto the tops of the shoulders, interlacing the fingers and resting the hands on the ground. Remember, this is optional. You can keep the arms and palms on the floor and the shoulders on the ground as well. Inhale, lift the hips. Inhale, lift your hips higher. Continue with the Ujjayi breath. Release the fingers, unroll one shoulder if you roll them under, then the other. And we'll all come down very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. When your hips are on the floor, slide one leg out, then the other. Roll your legs in and out from your hips and let the legs rest. Walk your heels to the sit bones with both feet flat on the ground. Lower the small of the back to the floor. Slide your arms out to the sides, hands in line with the shoulders. Inhale, knees to the chest. Exhale, drop the knees to the left and turn your head, gazing at the right hand. Guide the right shoulder blade further into the floor. Option to rest the left hand on the side of the right thigh. You want to move a little deeper into the posture. You can stretch out your piriformis deep here in the glutes by extending the top right leg out, holding onto the right heel. And then you can guide the left knee up so the right knee is resting on top of the left knee with the knees on the floor. We'll inhale the head to center with both palms on the ground and both knees bent. Inhale, knees to the chest. Exhale, drop the knees to the left, right, and the head is turned to look towards the left hand. So this time you have the option of resting the right hand on the side of the top left thigh. If you want to move a bit further into the posture, extend the top left leg out, reaching for the heel of the left foot with the right hand. Continue to guide your left shoulder blade further to the floor. Fill with the Ujjayi breath. Bring your head to center. Release the hands to the floor, both knees bent. Inhale, knees to the chest. Interlace the fingers over the front of the shins and start to roll forward and back, side to side. Your choice if you'd like to pick up the head and roll over the lower back. This posture is a Upasana. It's good for digestion. Let's come back to our center. Lower shoulders and head to the floor. Release the hands. Lower the feet to the floor. Slide one leg out, then the other. Roll the legs in and out from the hips. Let them rest. Feel free to turn your lights off now. We're moving into Shavasana. You want to place a folded blanket under your head. You can do that. If you have an eye pillow you like to use, feel free to place it over your eyes. And if your body does cool down easily, you want to have your body covered with a blanket. Once you're comfortable on the floor, separate the legs, forming a letter V. Heels at the opposite corner edges of the mat or wider. Slide the arms away from the sides of your torso. Turn your palms upward to the ceiling, allowing for an opening through the chest. We'll take a deep cleansing inhalation through the nose with an even longer exhalation out through the nostrils. Bring the focus to the feet and wiggle your toes. Rest the feet. Move on to the hands. Wiggle your fingers. Open wide through the palm, stretch all the way out through the fingertips. Curl your fingers in, making a soft fist. Squeeze it a few times and let go. Let the hands open again. Feel a natural curl to the fingers with the hands at rest. Move your awareness to the feet. Start to visualize the healing energy. Let this energy flow into the big toes. Just becoming aware of your big toe. Then slowly guide the healing energy into the second toe. Just noticing the second toe. And at your own pace, let the energy flow into the next toe and the next toe until eventually it reaches the smallest toe. Become aware of the spaces in between each of the toes. Let the healing energy slide down the backs of the toes and wash through the soles of the feet. Feel the energy massaging the bottoms of the feet, rubbing away any cramping or fatigue that might exist in the foot. Let the healing energy flow through the tops of the feet into your ankles. Feel the energy as it swirls around the outsides of your ankles. Notice the natural turnout of your ankles as you rest here in Shavasana. Feel this healing energy traveling up the fronts of the shins, then gently wrapping around the sides of the calves and flowing into the calf muscles in the lower legs. Letting any tension in the lower half of your legs ease away. Move the energy upward to the knees. Feel this healing energy flowing higher. Feel it traveling into the fronts of your thighs. And as this healing energy moves through the quadriceps, the large muscle group in the fronts of your thighs, consciously relax your quads. Let the energy wrap around the sides of the thighs and flow into the hamstrings and the backs of your thighs. As you feel the energy traveling through your hamstrings, allow any tension or any emotions that may have collected in the hamstrings to ease away. Move the energy upward to your hips. Feel the energy begin to swirl around the outsides of the hips. Allow your hips to continue to unwind and open. Guide the energy higher. Let it flow into the abdominal cavity. Soften the belly. Feel the healing energy traveling upward to the center of the chest. From here, let the healing energy spread out across your chest like a warm and pleasant sensation, reaching all the way out to the sides of the rib cage. Feel your chest untightening. Guide the energy upward to the tops of your shoulders. Relax your shoulders into the floor. Soften your throat. Relax your jawline. And move the healing energy into the face. Let the energy spread out across the face, moving all of your facial muscles out to the sides, releasing any lines or creases that might exist in the face. Feel the energy flowing from the forehead and washing back into the scalp like warm water from a shower. Allow your scalp to loosen and move the healing energy from the back of the scalp into the back of your neck. As you feel this energy flowing through the back of the neck, visualize the small muscles within the back of the neck softening, letting any residual stress here melt away. And slowly guide the healing energy down the spine. Feel it spiraling in between the vertebrae of the spine until eventually it reaches the base of the spine. Let the energy radiate out from the center of the spine and flow across the middle of the back. Feel the healing energy slide down into the lower back and guide the energy up across the shoulder blades. Invite this energy to flow freely throughout the entire back, deeply massaging all of the muscles of the back, seeking out any knots that might exist within the muscles of the back and rubbing them away. Relax your shoulder blades into the floor, feeling the support of the ground beneath you. Guide the energy from the shoulder blades back to the tops of the shoulders. Let the energy travel through the upper arms, relaxing the muscles as it goes. Move the energy into the elbows. Sense the spaciousness within each elbow joint. Move the energy through the forearms into the wrist joints, noticing that spaciousness within each wrist joint. And finally, let the healing energy flow into the hands and collect in the center of the palms. Once you feel that you're holding this energy in each hand, send it out to your fingers. become aware of each finger individually. As you notice one finger, take a moment to sense the knuckle joint within the finger and the spaciousness within the knuckle joint of the finger. Take time to acknowledge each finger in this way. Knuckle joint, spaciousness within the knuckle joint. And then once you've had a moment to connect with each finger, let the healing energy slide out the fingertips, taking away with it any tension from the body, any toxins, any impurities, and leaving the entire body cleansed and deeply relaxed, and the mind serene, at peace for the moment, as you turn your attention to a single point, which is your own relaxation. We're going to take an active inhalation through the nose with an even longer exhalation out through the nostrils. I invite you to gently open the eyes, staying relaxed and comfortable on your back in Shavasana. Wiggle your toes, roll your ankles around, roll the entire leg in and out from the hips. Then let the legs rest. Move to your hands, wiggle the fingers, then let the hands rest. Walk the heels to the sit bones. Once both feet are flat on the floor, raise your right arm overhead and roll onto your right side. Please rest here for a moment on your right side. Take time at least for a few natural breaths to flow. And then when you're ready, press your left palm into the ground and sit up in easy seat or any comfortable cross-legged position. You can sit in full lotus, Padmasana. You can sit in half lotus, Ardha Padmasana. Whichever you choose, you can sit on a folded blanket with your back against the wall too for support. So once you're seated, close the eyes, relax the shoulders. Your choice for the position of the hands. Palms can be turned down, resting lightly on the knees. Palms could be turned upward to the ceiling. You could add a mudra, pressing index finger and thumb together, or you can form a bowl in the center of the lap. One hand inside the other, palms turned upward, thumbs touching. We'll focus on the third eye, the energy point located in between the eyebrows and slightly above. And for just 60 seconds, only 1 minute, we'll focus on our third eye. When you notice that the mind has traveled on to other thoughts, just gently return the focus back to your third eye, finding those spaces in between the thoughts. And slowly returning your awareness to the room. Take an active inhalation through your nose, longer exhalation out through the nostrils. I invite you to open your eyes, gazing softly at the floor in front of you. And we'll end here for today, sealing in the benefits of today's yoga practice. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, and I will be back tomorrow for another 1 hour yoga class, 12 to 1. Be sure and tell your colleagues, and Thursday, 11:15 to 11:45 as well. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.